Hi beautiful people, welcome to my channel. For this week video, I will present you how I did my squishy polar bear. First, I cast on my machine, starting by the black needle, one in the front, one in the back for the first row. As you could see, the number will be all right on the screen during the video. So for this part, it's the body. You will need 95 rows. And I will give you a little tip here to keep the count when you don't have any counter. Like every 10 rows, I will add a little piece of yarn to keep track. So if I need 95 rows, I will just prepare 8 pieces of yarn to reach 95 rows. Every 10 rows, I will add it and I will keep the count. So I continue like this, and when the work touch the table, it's time to roll it to prevent drop stitch. Now it's time to do the cast off. Cast off, you remove the yarn from the yarn feeder, you turn or crank your machine like this for a full 360. When you're done, you just take your wool needle and grab all stitch one by one, starting with this one. And you grab it with the tip of your needle between the two little red teeth. So I continue like that. I was in the video, I didn't know. There, so I grab all the stitches, very important. If you miss one, you will lose and have drop stitch. They are easy to fix, but when you're newbies, it could be very frustrated. So be not too fast and take your time. Turn the crank a little bit, grab all the stitches and remove this part. So you prepare the tube for the body of your little squishy polar bear. So cast on now will be for the muzzle. For the muzzle, I will do the same thing, cast on starting by the black needle, one in the front, one in the back, and this time I will do 13 rows. 13 rows. Time to cast off, cut the yarn, open the yarn feeder again, and crank the machine for a full 360. With the wool needle, I will go and grab all the stitches, just like I did with the bigger machine. So that way, I will be able to create the muzzle later. I'm just preparing my tube right now, but all the numbers are on the screen. So your first visit here, no worry. All numbers are available on the screen. So now to cast on the other part that we need for this little polar bear. So for the ears, we will do 2 times 10 rows plus 5 waste yarn on it. 5 rows of waste yarn. Okay? What is waste yarn? Is the yarn that will help us to close the tube correctly at the end with no trouble. So I will continue. As you could see, the waste yarn is installed, and we will now do the cast off with the waste yarn. Cut the yarn, continue to crank, and it will remove it by itself. It's like magic. So time to stretch, 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 and do that again, and put those pieces aside for now. I will now continue with the paws. I will need 4 paws. So same thing, crank the machine, one in the front, one in the back for the first row. Put that in the yarn feeder, and then you will do that 4 times 18 rows plus 5 row of waste yarn. So now it's time to cast off with the waste yarn. Make sure you put that in front of your pin like this. Make sure you go and grab it, and then I will grab for 5 rows. When I got my 5 rows, I will just go and cut the yarn and keep cranking, and it will release by itself just like I did earlier. So you will do that 4 times. If you're not comfortable with waist yarn, I will put another video how to close tube, and you put that on the side for now and keep it for later to learn something. So now it's the tail. For the tail, no waist yarn needed. Oh yes, yes, sorry, I will have some waist yarn too, but this time just one piece of 10 rows will be necessary. So I continue. Now it's time to do the cast off. Oh no, the tail. The tail, I don't need any waist yarn. I was right at first. Sorry for that. So I did the 10 rows. Now it's time to remove it with the yarn needle again. And I turn my machine because I don't have the patience to attach the machine on my table, because I do video and I have to remove it all the time to put the big one or the small machine. So that's why I move my machine like that. So I stretch it, put that aside for now. Now it's time for the ears. I will show you how to prepare your ears. So I will make sure you do that with the hook number 4, 4.5, or 5, or 5.5. So I just go and do some slip stitch like this. Grab one side and grab the other side, and I have made sure that the tail is on the other side, so that way I will be able to close it with a slip stitch. Sorry. I continue. Look good. So that's why I use waist yarn for that. It's easier to grab all your stitches when it's time to close your tube to create like a flat piece. So almost finished, and you see why I say keep the tail on the other side, so that way I will just go grab it and do a slip stitch and push it with my finger to tighten it. So time to remove the waist yarn. The waist yarn are very easy to remove when you just put that on the cast off time of your tube. It's always a little bit a struggle when you have to remove it, and if it's the cast on. So when you do little piece like that, keep your waist yarn at the out at the time of the cast off. So time to close the top of my little tube with that double knot, stretch it, and I will do the same for the 2 little ears. Now it's the tail. Remember the 10 rows of the tail. So I will just go and close both sides of it, stretch it a little bit after, like this, and put that aside for now. Now it's time for the muzzle. The muzzle, I will do the same thing like I did for the little tail. I just go and close both sides of the tube, stretch it, and again stretch on this side, and go like this. So I go in the middle and join the other tail of yarn and attach those two together and secure it with a double knot. I will hide those little tail of yarn inside of it, and that way I will be ready to add some contrasting color on it to create a cute muzzle. I decide to keep it like very simple, so I will create like a triangle like this. Under it I will go and go in the middle again to create like a V, and then I will go across of it just like this, coming back, and then again under, coming back, under, and come back. So you could do just like a little triangle like this and it could be cute, or you could choose to fill it. Me, I choose to fill it. So we go inside Go in the middle, go down, and then go up. Oops, pull a little bit, but don't go too tight. That's the secret. If you go very loose, not too loose, but you have to find your perfect way and come back in the middle. I will do that till it's full. There, on top. And go down. If you're comfortable with that, you could go faster the video, like I know a lot of you guys do, because I know my video are kind of long, but for some people it's help. And for myself, I enjoy when the video is long enough that I have all the explanation that I need to do a project. So I do I do my video that way because I like it when I watch one. Hope you enjoyed this too. If not, sorry for that. So coming back and go in the middle. So you see that I go up when I sew. So I go a little bit down and just a little triangle to cover. Almost finished now. There. The color I use for the muzzle is almond color, and the yarn is the Bernat Premium. I forgot to put that on the video, but I will write it at the end of the video on the screen. So now I go and go. You could use your yarn and go like this and go like side by side, but I will just go and go under it and go like this. Oops, I divide my yarn and I just go like this. There, and voila, and cut it. So this one is ready to use. Not not long. So I will prepare a little paws. I have prepared a little paws the same way I did for the ears. So they are ready, and now it's time to remove all the stitch marker on the body of my tube. The body of my tube. Of the, of the tube for the body of my bear. Oh no no. Sorry. So now I grab it with my loom hook that I use a lot. So it's very easy to remove, as you could see. So just a little piece of yarn could keep all the number right and less stress. So time to stretch it a little bit more, and now I will pull on it. There, and voila. So I will go and grab my wool needle again and make sure that everything is tight and secure with that one knot, and I will do a second one just to make sure that everything is secure. So during the video, if I have little tip, I will say it to you during the video. Tips are always good. You could use that with another project later on. Never know. So you be ready if you need a little tip. So I do the same thing with this side with a closer look. So I go and do one knot, stretch it, and do a second one to make sure everything is secure and stay all together, and pull it. So now I will go and push one side and the other one, just like when we do a hat or a beanie. Different part of the word call that thing different. Here in Canada we call that a toque. So I go in the middle to bring my tail of yarn and stretch it a little bit, and with those two tails now I will attach it and secure with double knot to keep it together. So this part is done. So now I will add those little tail of yarn, and now I will go and up and skip one and grab one and skip one. So this will help me to close this side before we add the stuffing. So with the closer look, you could see I take a full V, a full stitch if you like. It get better. So when I arrive here, I will go and stuff my little body like this. For the stuffing, I always go a little bit at a time, because if you put too much in the same time, you will end up with a weird shape and you will not be very impressed of your work. So just go a little bit at a time, check your work. And now time to close is hard sometimes because the stuffing is trying to escape. So you will do, see, when this happened, like me, I cannot tight it enough because my left hand doesn't cooperate sometimes. So I go and go grab a couple of stitches like that around the little circle that I made, and now I will go and stretch it and close it, and perfect. So I those little tail of yarn, and I have the body of my polar bear. It's now a little ball like this. So 95 rows did this. So now I will put that aside and prepare the ears. For the ears, I will go like a accordion, like this, or zigzag with the tip of my wool needle, one side to the other one. Why I use waste yarn? It's because I want it to be flat, so it'd be easier to attach on the head. But that's my choice. If you think that you're able to do to do that without the 5 rows of waste yarn, it's up to you. But for me, it was easier to sew like that. Then I will go and bring the yarn in the middle of the 2 layer to hide it, and I will keep one long tail to attach it on the head. I already sew one, and now I just put that, I lay down the ears and I go on the same column like this, grab a full 2 bar or 2 stitch and go on the ears. See, 2 bar and then a full stitch on the ears. There, 2 bars and a full stitch on the ears. Now I will go stretch it and go on the other side, and I will do the same thing. My stitch are very loose, but I will pull on it at the end like I just said for the other side. There, I just did for the other side. So I go continue. I stay on the same column all the time, because that way I'm sure that the ear will end up right, not crook. So I go like this, and now I hold on my work to stretch it, not too much because you don't want to change the shape of your polar bear. So the 2 ears are on right now. I will go and do a double knot to secure it and cut it, so that way I don't have too much tail of yarn to hide. There, and I like my wool needle, it's very handy. So now the ears are on. It's time to fix our muzzle. Now I have a little tip here. It's how to keep it straight. There I use orange color yarn, very bright, and I just go and sew it very loose. It's not gonna stay there. It's only to keep it stable, so that way I'll be able to sew it with less trouble. So I cut it the excess. Like I said, I won't keep that orange there. So now it's time to sew it on the muzzle and then on the body. I go closer to help you see it. So I grab just on the border, on the edge. Grab the full stitch, a full V, and grab a full stitch on the edge. So now I'm very sure that my muzzle won't move because it's attached with the orange yarn, so it saves some trouble for me. There, if you have other option that you use and work for you, use it. That's my way I use it when I do. So if you're comfortable with another way, go and use your way. It's going to be your project at the end. This one is mine. So I continue, grab a full stitch. I take my time, I go on the edge. And when I reach the starting point, it will be the time to close it. There. When you got it, you will go and do a little knot. And I did in the muzzle. I just go and do the same color yarn in the same color yarn. If you decide to put that in the white, end up showing, so you don't want that. So I remove the orange yarn. As you can see, it's very easy, and the muzzle is in place now. Ta-da! Now I will prepare the paw. The paws are ready. It's now the time to create like very not short but less big. It's gonna be thinner paws. So I do that with mattress stitch. To do a mattress stitch, I will start and go on the same column, grab 2 bar or 2 stitch and going there. I go very loose with my stitch because I will pull on it at the end, so no worry. So I go continue like this and grab on the other side and go on, oops, 2 stitch, Jojo, 2 stitch. I will go on the other side and continue. Almost finish. When I finish, I will go and pull because I will end up with not yarn enough to finish. So I go and it's like magic. You just pull. Make sure that you don't pull too much because the other end it's not attached. And see, it's able to move, so you could stretch it. And if you don't have enough yarn, you just pull on it to do the little knot to secure your work. So I go and put my yarn like this and blah 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 into a knot. Stretch it and it's tight. I do a double knot just to make sure. Always better to be short and not enough short. Whoops. There. Try again. Never give up. There. And pull. And I will hide it between the 2 layers. There. And then here it's time to do a double knot too. There and pull and voila. So you will do that for 2 of the paws. You don't do that for all 4 of that. Yes, sorry. You do that. You do the same thing for the 4 paws for now. So they will all look like this. So for the upper body, I will treat it like this. Create a little, it's like a little beanie. So I will give like a smaller paw. So that's what I need. So I will go prepare it like this, and I will sew that on the polar bear after. So those will be the lower part of the paw. Not the lower part of the paw, the lower part of the polar bear. The lower paws. Oh, sorry. I try. So I close it very easy like this, just going zigzag, and attach it on the side as you could see, and then I will come back doing the same thing to join my starting point there. So that way it will be easy to attach it on the body, and be sure that it's very attractive to watch it. It's not gonna be crooked. So I come back, little zigzag on this one, almost finished. Da, 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 da. There. and I will attach it with the other tail of yarn, and I did in the paws, double knot, cut it, see, it look like this. I will attach it on the body. As you could see, I will just go and put the middle of the paw and join it in the middle like this. There. I didn't do any fancy stitch. If you feel like it, it's up to you. I just did like this, and it worked for me. But if you feel like to do something fancy, up to you. There. It's very tight. So I go like this, sew it, and come back. So I will be sure like it's very secure. So I come back on my work, and now I go a little bit fancier. I go and grab on 2 stitch and grab 1 and grab 2 stitch, and after that I will pull on my yarn. There, and I continue. There, and continue. Grab and grab on the other side. Almost finished for this part of the project. There. And if it's your first visit to my channel, if you don't mind, could you put like a little heart in the comment just to give me an idea? So I go and do a double knot, cut the yarn, and I did with the wool needle, just like it. There, and cut the excess. There. Now it's time to sew the upper paws. I already saw the other side. Now it's time to do this one. And as you could see, I will sew it keeping on the same column to start, just to make sure that I stay the place that I need it to be. There. Grab 2 bar, a full stitch on the arm or paws, and go back there, and I only do 1 circle around it. I won't do that twice, and it will be enough. No problem. Kids will be able to play with. And for the eyes later on, I use the same eyes that I use usually on my video. But it's for 3 and up, because those are button. If you give that to younger kids, it could be very dangerous. So please check for other option if you want it to be for a child under age of 3, just to be secure. Okay, there. If you want to do the eye with yarn, it's up to you, or felt or something glue. For under 3, it's very dangerous to suffocate. So it looked like this. So we do the double knot, cut the yarn, and same, and I did. Now I will do the claw. I just go start on the bottom and go in the middle like this, create like a V, coming back on the middle, go on the side and come back in there, and I will do a little knot, and I did in the paws. So I did that for the other one on the bottom of, not the bottom, but the lower part pause. I don't know how to say that. Hope you understand me. I do my best anyways. There, and I did in the body. Cut it, and voila. Time to add the little tail. So just grab it and take the two tail of yarn, attach it together. That's create a little croissant or half circle. And now I have a long tail that I will use to sew the tail on the body. So the polar bear is almost finished. So grab it and attach it on the body and on the tail. On the body and on the tail. All the time. Body and on the tail. If you don't feel to put the tail, don't put it. It's only a little option and a little addition that I decide to add. But if you don't like it, don't put it. There. And I will continue. Go like this. Cute. So I put it closer look and almost finished. Grab it one full stitch, go on the tail and then go on the body and almost finish. Time to do a double knot. It's squishy. Just like I want it to be. There. So I will do now. Do a double knot and voila. That part is done. I will go and hide the tail in the body. Cut the excess. Always make sure to don't cut the work. Now it's time to prepare the little eyes. I use 35 centimeter of yarn. Attach the button in the middle. Put it the place I want it to be on it, like this. Make sure. So I attach one side at a time, and I will go and attach the other tail of yarn because the button is in the middle. So I will join it in the bottom like that and attach it secure for over 3 years old kids. Make sure that you understand that. Over 3 years old kids. And if the kids is 3 years old but they have a handicap or the tendency to put thing in his mouth, don't give those little button, okay? Takes things safe. So almost finished. I will attach those little cord here. Voila. And I did. There. Almost finished. And I will add the name of the yarn at the end. So voila, my little squishy polar bear. Ciao, ciao. Have a good day and never give up.